Well, good afternoon. Is this on? Okay, great. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really happy to be here. I'm Colette DePhelps. I work part-time for University of Idaho Extension. You might also know my name from working with Rural Roots, which is a nonprofit organization that works with sustainable farmers across Idaho. A lot of on-the-ground work in the greater Palouse, Moscow, Pullman area. I am the board president of our Moscow Food Co-op. Excited to say we are going to open our second store in Pullman in the next couple of years. So I've learned a lot over the time working with local food and agriculture about different segments of the market. I'm really excited to be working on a project with University of Idaho whose goal is really to increase the sales of small farm products into restaurants and retailers. So when we're talking about small farms, we're talking about farms that gross 250,000 or less. So the voice of the market I'm talking about today is primarily restaurants and grocery stores, whether they're a co-op, a natural food store, a conventional grocery. But I wanted to say that a year ago on another project, we surveyed eaters, anybody across the state that would answer an email survey. So Extension did this. We heard from over 450 people, and we said, what will it take to increase the consumption of, in that case, fruits and vegetables in your communities? And regardless of the income of folks, where they were across the state, their level of education, some said community gardens, increased farmers markets, but over it all, it was we need to have food in our restaurants and our grocery stores because it needs to be convenient. People need to find local food where they usually go for food. And I'll talk a little bit about why that is later. So to start out with this project in May and June and on into August, a team of us from University of Idaho went and talked with producers, distributors, retailers, and restaurants around the state and in the greater Spokane area. And we said, what's going on in local food? How is local food getting to restaurants and retailers? And is that working for you? Everybody said local food is hot, we want it, there's a demand, we want more food in our restaurants, we want them in our grocery stores, we'd like to have more on our shelves. And to do that, you have to meet some of the needs we have. And so they value local food. You know, buyers value local food, the customer values local foods, but there's some needs that have to be met so that they can act on those values. One is they need the quality they need. And we really heard this from grocery stores because their customers are used to food that stacks a certain way, that bundles a certain way, that is a certain size, and they can grab it off the shelf. They need to know those products. And so they say grading is important, and everybody said quality is important. So when it comes off the farm, that great flavor and freshness moves through transportation to the shelf or to the plate. They also said we need a system that's reliable because our customers rely on us. So we heard from some restaurants that they have signature dishes and they really need to know that when they place an order, they're going to get enough of what they need to fulfill the demand. You know, some restaurants have more flexibility because they can run specials, they can change their menu. Others have a really fixed menu. And so people expect to have that salad. And so if they don't have that salad, it hurts their profitability. So they really need reliability. They need consistency of the product, the quality of the product, and they need consistency in service. They also said it has to be at least somewhat convenient. We're willing to put more time and energy into working with our distributor or our producers in order to set our menu, to order the food, to prep it and get it on the shelf, but still convenience is important because all that time that we put into working with local producers is a cost. And we have to be profitable. And what they all said is that our profit margins are not great. They're slim. We are really working hard to give our people good income, the people that work in our restaurants. We're trying to give our employees at our stores a fair, wage, to give them benefits. And we just don't have big margins. They're not here. And so we can't pay retail prices. We'll pay a price premium, but we can't pay retail. And so in thinking about that, I think it's helpful to think about who their customers are. The Hartman Group has done some research, and we've looked at this pretty closely in the food co-op world. And 13% of shoppers are core shoppers. I am a core shopper. I know what I want, it meets my values, I'm not really price sensitive. I will put so much more of my money into food because that's what's important to me. But most people are not core shoppers. Most people, even in the co-op world, are this other segment. They are called mid-level shoppers, 64%. And a lot of them are shopping for local food because of taste, quality, and health. And they run a gamut, but they're cross shoppers. They will buy something somewhere place and they'll go somewhere else for other things. So they're not 100% loyal. And to get to those mid-level shoppers, people have to be able to sell something at a price that they can afford. And so that's what the market is working towards. So they do want to pay a premium. They value local agriculture, but they have to be profitable. And so we have to start talking about partnerships and profitability from farm to consumer. And I know a lot of us in this room talk about it, but when we start to put our systems together, it's even more important. So we did a survey, and we are in the process of doing that. It's a buyer survey. We had about 72 people open it and almost 50 complete it. Of the people that completed it, about half are restaurants, half are a mixture of grocery stores. 90% said they wanted to increase their purchases of local food. They wanted to increase the quantity of local food that they sell. And they wanted to increase the variety. And the top motivators were about values. And this is what we talk about a lot, supporting local producers, supporting our community. They also talked about product quality and flavor, but when it got down to things that served them directly, that was lower on the scale in terms of giving them some type of distinction in the market, even some of their consumer demands. So what we know from this is that values are really shared. But to make it work, we have to address the needs. In this slide, what I want you to notice is the blue and the purple. Those are moderate to significant challenges. And they're around those areas of service that I talked to. Quantity, looking at reliability, access to the products, knowing that they're out there and how to get them. So these are the part of the system that we're really looking at, how can we do better here? So like I said, we're in the middle of doing this buyer survey. That's some of our preliminary outcomes. But what was really interesting in this whole conversation is that we are dealing with things here that people are dealing with everywhere. And there's people out there that are really looking at how can we get more local products into restaurants and retailers, and how can we help farmers adjust some of their systems to be better at meeting the needs of this market. So with our project, we're asking producers to also feed into this information that we're getting and to tell us what they would like to bring into these markets. So this week, we've opened a producer survey. There's cards on our booth, and we'll be doing a lot of advertising for it. We want to hear from producers. What do you want to sell? What are you looking for in terms of price premiums? Where are you located? Do you have flexibility in your system to change? And then we're going to put those things together and do some educational programming around the state on how to be successful in this wholesale environment. So if you have any questions, please come out and talk to us at our booth. And thank you very much.